The prominent Tory backbencher warned Prime Minister Theresa May's chief Europe advisor Olly Robbins wants Britain to stay in the European Union and remains to be a key influence on Brexit. Ms. McVey, as a former cabinet insider, was asked by LBC caller Ben who is influencing Theresa May to make key Brexit decisions. It has very much been about how do we hold on to as much of the EU as possible, Esther McVey. In response, the Tory Brexiteer said, "You have to look at the whole makeup of the cabinet and the key positions in the cabinet and you'll see that they are people who all voted for Remain and are still sort of ardent Remainers, whether that is the Chancellor, whether that is David Liddington, down as the Deputy Prime Minister, or whether that is Greg Clark, so those core cabinet ministers are, and there is a big majority of Remainers in the cabinet, and at the same time, Olly Robbins, it would appear, has been her key advisor and very much about staying in. In fact, if you looked at the negotiations, it is not about what can we do when we leave and what is free trade and how do we become a global country. Ardent Brexit news. Esther McVey said she was ignored when in cabinet talking about Brexit. Image LBC Getty. It has very much been about how do we hold on to as much of the EU as possible, so you can see just by the way they are tilting either way of how they look at the issue. They are Remainers. Ms. McVey also spoke about her time in cabinet and how difficult it was for her colleagues to understand the key issues with the proposed Brexit deal. She said, "I remember the cabinet meeting where I said this deal will not be accepted, particularly not by Brexiteers, but also it won't be accepted by Remainers as well. They will not like it. I was told I didn't know what I was talking about and that this is what they were going forward with. I said the backstop is absolutely non-negotiable. So, too, was £39 billion being handed over without a free trade agreement, but they continued forward. I said on November 15th, you should have your Salzburg moment now and say absolutely not acceptable, this will not pass. They didn't think I knew what I was talking about and then it went down to the biggest defeat in history." It has also been revealed Chancellor Philip Hammond has been laying the groundwork for a second Brexit referendum following a meeting with Tory aides to discuss how a fresh vote would work. The Chancellor of the Exchequer has been looking into how the government could call a fresh vote on Brexit, despite the Prime Minister clearly voicing her opposition to the idea in a comment piece issued today, multiple sources claimed. 10 days ago, Mr. Hammond held a meeting with 15 vice-chairmen and parliamentary aides in his Commons office, according to a colleague of one of the attendants. During the gathering, he sounded them out about how a second referendum on Brexit could work and what the government would have to do to call a fresh vote on the issue. The source told the Sunday Times he was laying the groundwork for a referendum.